All with canceled flights and massive delays making headlines for the second time this year, Canadian travelers may be thinking twice before booking their next trip. This morning, though, we are looking into the future and hopefully some better trends for 2023. And to help us do that is travel journalist Loren Christie. Welcome.
Thank you.
There has been a lot of talk about travel. We've seen some nightmare travel stories in the last few days, which leads us into our first trend of 2023, realistically speaking. And we're gonna get real and get real honest here. Will we continue to see a bit of a bumpy road ahead?
Yeah, for sure we will. I mean, the good news is that people actually really want to travel now. There's been that pent-up demand for travel since the pandemic, and so survey after survey shows people want to go despite rising costs and all that. But as we saw in the last 2 weeks as a perfect example, the industry isn't there yet. There's still massive labor shortages. That we heard about it in the summer. It's not a quick fix. It's going to take at least 2023 to get through that, if not more. So when you have something like the weather chaos that we had last year, or last week and the week before.
It feels like last year because time is irrelevant
but
right
that,
now.
you know, all those other issues there, the way it was communicated, the way it was managed, that's not just about the weather. That's other things. So expect bumpy as the key word for 2023. Not constantly, but there will be some bumps.
To be expected. On a slightly more optimistic note, because we like to keep things positive, another trend we're seeing is focusing on sustainability, inclusivity, and accessibility.
Yeah. Totally. And, you know, what we've seen over the growing years is that it's not just an interest in these things, there's now a demand, especially among travelers that are Gen Z, Gen Y. They're expecting this from their travel providers. And there was just a report out just before Christmas from the Expedia group that basically said there's now a majority of travelers that are looking for those type of things when choosing their travel option. And so I see it, and I think you'll see it more from the industry as we go through this year. You know, it could be little things like growing amounts of local wine on your menu at the restaurant.
You had me at wine.
All the way up to regulations. You know, France just in the last 6 months passed a ban. They banned short-haul flights within the country between cities that are connected by a 2.5-hour train trip or less. Wow. In other words, encouraging people to use the train versus flights. And I think you're going to see more and more of that roll out.
Okay, so I love this one, and this is a term that's new. We're calling it set jetters instead of jet setters. Set jetters, as in travel inspiration that comes from watching TV shows, movies. I know White Lotus, Emily in Paris. They've got me planning trips in my head.
100%. And, you know, that term came from that same Expedia report, so I won't take full credit for it. But what it said was that, you know, 60% of Canadians look at these destinations that they see in these TV shows and these streaming services, and they want to go there. But then 27% are actually booking it, which is an incredibly high number. And it used to be that social media was the #1 kind of influencer of where you went. TV is starting to take over. And I personally, you know, Paris, Emily in Paris, I watched it when I was in France last year and loved it, and it inspires. And White Lotus, I'm literally going to Sicily in May. Could not get into the hotel. The San Domenico Hotel, the San Domenico Palace Hotel is a Four Seasons. It literally is booked out for the entire year of 2023, but I'm hoping to go for a drink, so we'll see.
Last question, urban adventures are back. What's an urban adventure for folks who don't know?
Well, it's basically just exploring cities again, because again, remember the last couple of years, everybody was outdoors, everybody was in parks. There was no festivals, there was no concerts, there was no arts, and so, you know, places you're looking at here, like the Tokyo Cherry Blossom Festival, these are big name events that have been absent for the last couple of years. So although we've been avoiding cities typically in the last couple of years, now you're going to see people coming back. And here in Canada, the cities particularly are going to benefit because this will be the first coming year where we haven't had restrictions on international travelers. And it's going to make a huge difference for people coming in and enjoying our cities.
I love it. Nothing better than getting out and enjoying the city you're from. Loren, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.